So welcome to the windiest video I have made all year. So a few days ago, me and Digicam Dave, yes you, we came out here and had a bit of a play around at sunrise, and he was using a Digicam and I was using a full frame camera, and after his video had gone live and people had seen everything, I got called a full frame snob. Now I can guarantee you I am not a full frame snob. There are no full frame cameras here with me today, apart from that one that's been recorded on, and the one in my bag, and the one I've just bought on eBay. But apart from that, there are no full frame cameras in sight. So what we're doing today, you may ask? Well, Digicam Dave has given me his Digicam. This is a Canon G10. It's a point and shoot camera. Okay, so I think what we're going to do first is we're going to try and capture the wind and the waves going on here. So there's some concrete ruins just behind me, there. The wind is sort of blowing the waves up and they're really sort of crashing over that. So I thought if we can get a nice fast shutter speed on this point and shoot Digicam thing, we may be able to catch the waves and crashing and freeze frame and motion and all that. It might look quite cool, so let's head down there and see what we can do. Alright, so we're just waiting. We're just waiting now for a big wave to come and splash over this. This is what I'll call a ruin. It's an old dish. It used to be a gun mounting for when this was in use during the war. So let's just zoom out a little bit. Let's just put it right in the middle of the frame. Let's see what we can do. Is there a big wave? There's one there. Oh, I like that. We've got some swell in it. So I will show you the photographs of the waves crashing over that. We're going to see what else we can do. This does have a built-in ND filter. So I think we might try doing something with that. Okay, so I'm just using this concrete slab behind me as a bit of a windbreak. You see, the wind is really just blowing in off the North Sea, and it's sort of kind of blowing right into your face right now, so that's why my back's kind of facing this way. So while I'm studying it, I just want to talk to you for a minute about this little Canon G10. You see, I've always been a little bit sceptical about the small sensors in these kind of things, which is why I've never really gone out and bought one. So when I loaned it from Dave yesterday, I took a couple of test shots at home, just pull things about in Lightroom, see how they reacted to the sliders and everything. And one thing that puts me off about cameras like this is colour noise in shadows. You know, the reds, the greens, the blues, the purples, all the little speckledy bits and all that lot. And there was quite noticeable in their absence on the raw files on this. In fact, it took an awful lot of sliding about with the shadows and the exposure slider to really get them to materialise, to become the point where they're really ugly. So it gets points for that, and it surprised me. So I'm kind of wondering what else it's able to do while we're out here today. So on the way down the beach, what I did, I set this camera up on a tripod. You see this little G10, it has it inbuilt a 3-stop ND filter, so I thought, wouldn't it be fun just to try and slow the shutter speed down and see what we can do with a long exposure. So 3-stop ND filter. F8 was the narrowest I was able to get the aperture. I'm not sure if that's something I'm doing or if that is just the narrowest that the aperture goes on this lens, but F8, a 15th of a second, ISO 80 with a 3-stop ND filter. And this is what a long exposure looks like with one of these little point and shoot digicams. aperture on this lens is f2.8. Now, it's a variable aperture and it also zooms about, so I'm kind of wondering, blurry background time. So let's have a look. Let's go down, find one of these rocks, see if we can just get nice and close to it and blur the background out. So let's have a test. Right, here's a nice pointy triangle-shaped rock, wave. Don't want to ruin Dave's Digicam in the waves, do we? No, we don't. Right, there we go. Oh, actually, we've got some water going there. So if I hold f2.8, 40th of a second, ISO 80. See how that turns out. Right, so I've just been for a walk up the beach and I tried to take a handheld shot, sort of a wider shot of distance, and I noticed something. I noticed a flaw with these cameras. Let me show you. So can you see in the sort of top left-hand corner of this image? That, my friends, is sensor dust. And I have no idea how you would remove that on one of these cameras. So there's just something to be aware of. There's a little negative mark against this sensor dust, and I don't know how you would clean it. Right, so I just want to see how this sort of deals with, you know, fine details and everything. So I've got a couple of pebbles placed in the sand. I'm just going to take a photograph of them, just top down, straight onto them. So f6.3, a quarter of a second, and ISO 100. I'm using a 10-second timer for this one. It's on the tripod. 10 seconds takes quite a long time. So, having had a play around with this little Canon G10 on the beach today, who do I think a camera like this will be aimed at? Well, anybody on social media, so Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you're going out for days out with the kids, to the woods, to the beach, to the mountains, taking pictures of your food or anything like that that they do on Instagram, grab yourself a camera like this. It is more than capable for things like that. 14 megapixel sensor in here, it's more than enough resolution for anything along those lines. You're not going to get the same image quality as a full frame camera, I'm sorry to say. But for Instagram, the compression that they had anyway, Facebook, the compression they had, nobody's going to know. So thank you very much for watching today's video. I do hope you enjoyed it. It's been a bit of a, we call it a limited day today. The weather conditions haven't played ball and I haven't really wanted to stray too far away from here. This isn't my camera, as I've said earlier on in the video. I don't think it's weather sealed, and the spray that's coming off there, I've kind of been limited and a little bit cautious as to what I do with it. But if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. It really does help the video out and it brings new viewers to see my content. If you enjoyed it more than that, there's a subscribe button below there. You can hit that and you'll see more nonsense from myself every single week. I'm usually using a full frame camera because I'm a full frame camera snob. Until the next time, it's peace and goodbye.